Fear behaves differently when it leaves the private space of the individual mind and enters the collective. What once existed as a personal survival response becomes a social force capable of reshaping behavior, judgment, and morality across entire populations. The human brain evolved to respond rapidly to danger. When a threat is detected, the nervous system activates instantly. Heart rate increases, muscles tense, attention narrows. This response is efficient when danger is immediate and physical. But when fear is prolonged, abstract, or constantly reinforced, the same system becomes destabilizing. When fear signals appear repeatedly, the brain never fully returns to baseline. Stress hormones remain elevated. The nervous system stays alert even in the absence of direct threat. Over time, this state becomes familiar. Fear stops feeling like an emergency and starts feeling like reality itself. At the mass level, fear spreads through stories, imagery, repetition, and emotional framing. The brain does not distinguish clearly between lived experience and vividly described danger. A threat does not need to be present to feel real. It only needs to be imagined consistently and reinforced emotionally. Language plays a critical role. Words like crisis, danger, threat, collapse, and emergency trigger survival circuits automatically. When these words are repeated, the brain treats them as signals, not descriptions. Logic is bypassed. Reaction comes first. Fear simplifies perception. Complex issues lose nuance. Uncertainty becomes intolerable. The brain seeks clarity, even if that clarity is artificial. Simple explanations feel safer than accurate ones. Binaries replace gradients, us versus them, safe versus unsafe, good versus bad. As fear intensifies, authority becomes more appealing. When uncertainty dominates, people instinctively look outward for structure, rules, and reassurance. The promise of protection becomes more persuasive than evidence. Obedience feels like relief rather than submission. Crowds amplify fear through emotional contagion. Humans unconsciously mirror the emotional states of others. Anxiety spreads faster in groups, reinforcing itself through shared tension. Once fear becomes collective, it sustains itself without constant input. Sustained fear alters moral judgment. Actions that would normally feel unacceptable begin to feel necessary. Boundaries shift quietly. Extreme measures are justified through survival narratives. The brain reframes harm as protection. Fear also distorts time perception. Long-term consequences fade. Immediate relief becomes the priority. The brain sacrifices future stability for present certainty. This makes large groups easier to guide, not because they are unintelligent, but because they are overwhelmed. Importantly, fear-based manipulation does not require lies. It requires focus. By directing attention toward threat and away from reflection, behavior can be shaped without force. Fear narrows the field of thought until alternatives disappear. When fear dominates, questioning feels dangerous. Doubt feels irresponsible. Calm analysis feels disconnected from urgency. This is how fear silences reflection without censorship. Understanding how fear is used at scale is not about denying real dangers. It is about recognizing when fear is being extended beyond necessity. Awareness creates distance. Distance restores choice. Fear loses power when it is observed rather than absorbed. And observation is the first step toward reclaiming clarity in a world designed to keep the nervous system activated.